My name is Stephan Labossiere. I'm the author of How to Get a Woman to Have Sex with You If You're Her Husband. If a woman is too burdened, she's not going to have time for sex. It's like one woman once told me she has 45 things on her to-do list and sex is number 45. Because she has to worry about everything else. And if a man doesn't understand that he has to lessen those burdens and make it easier for her, she's not going to be receptive to it. She's not going to have the energy for it. For 2 years, both have children, great careers. He's not ready yet. And they're 32. Alright, this is the unfortunate, I'm just going to be honest, the unfortunate, in some cases, my thing is this, are they living together?
No.
Alright, here's the thing, it could be, again, we can always only speculate. One, a lot of men nowadays don't feel the need to rush marriage because they're getting wife benefits already anyway. So what's really the point? Why am I going to put myself in a position to sign off half of my assets to be in a more committed and obligated situation when you're giving me everything I want already? It really doesn't make any sense for the man to do that. So he might be continuing for that reason. The other reality is, and she needs to ask herself this, they might just be convenient for each other. A lot of people just get with someone because they're convenient, because they've spent so much time. A lot of women have a hard time walking away from the emotional investment they've made in a man, no matter how garbage the man is. Alright? So what happens is, I've been with him 2-3 years, I'm not going to walk away, now he's going to be some good man for some other woman. We're marrying the wrong people. And she has to be honest with herself, because the reality is, if she wants to know if she's the one for him, she needs to ask herself, is he the one for her? Because if he's not, then everything else means nothing. It's just time for her to walk away, even if it is 2 years and everything looks good. That's the problem. We like to attach ourselves to the person that looks good, or everything looks good on the surface. It's a great resume. Great resume don't mean you're the right one for the job. So the reality is, again, she needs to search deeper within herself, because the most important thing, in my opinion, in any relationship is connection. Atlanta's always talking about the ratio so bad here, okay? So I go to Local Luna, beautiful women everywhere. And I paid attention. Some of them are rolling in packs of like 10 and 20. The rest of them think they're too cute. And the rest of them are mean mugging everybody that walks by. And I'm thinking to myself, it's not a ratio issue. You don't know how to make yourself approachable. Why would I want to approach you when, one, you're with all your other girls, and I don't want to take a chance of being embarrassed in front of everybody. Alright? Or you're looking mean, so you're not receptive to me. There's a bunch of other choices here. I'm trying to figure out, who should I go to? So, I don't think a woman needs to really necessarily approach a man, but you have to make yourself approachable. Smile, throw a hint, make me see something that says, okay, I got a chance here. We don't want to walk in blind. We got feelings too. You know, we don't want to get rejected and feel hurt. The reality is, they see all these men, they see the nice guy who gets looked over all the time. And the guy who's more of an a-hole, he's the one who gets more numbers. Whether it should be like that or it truly is like that, the reality is that's how it's perceived. So I think they reach an age where they also don't want to play any more games. They just figure, okay, I'm just going to come hard, lay it out there, she's going to take it or she's not. Because there's a bunch of other options. And it's a numbers game for these men, especially in Atlanta. They just figure, all right, I'm going to try this on 20 different women a day. Somebody's going to give me that number. Unfortunately, there's a misconception being put out there of what a man should be. And that's why even men, you know, there's a lot of men who will tell you they think treating a woman bad is the way you're supposed to be, because that gets more out of her. Because again, they see the good guy get trampled on and the bad guy gets everything he wants. So whether that's truly supposed to be like that, see, what both the bad guy and the good guy do not understand is that the woman dreams of the man who's the mix of the two. Alright? Who can be assertive, put his foot down, who can, you know, check you when necessary, even if you don't like me saying it like that, but that's just what it is. You want a man that can check you when necessary, but can be sweet, kind, loving, attentive. That mix is the most ultimate combination for a woman. The thing is, you can't restrict Your ability to properly love somebody because of what they're doing wrong. You have to be willing to put your best foot forward no matter what. And you have to love them 100% no matter what. And if they cannot receive it properly, then they're not for you. See, it should never become, basically if he's not going to act right, you don't stay with him and make it worse. Then walk away. If you cannot continue to be what you need to be, then you need to walk away or you need to fix it. But it's never a valid excuse to not love the person you're with properly. You know, that's just the bottom line. And I say it to men as well. You know, I try to speak to the crowd I'm speaking to. So when I say to you guys, don't think I don't tell men you need to love your woman unconditionally. That you need to do all these things for her regardless of what she does. It's just right now I'm speaking to you. And you can only control what you can do. You know, you can't control what he does. So if he's not acting right, rather than point the finger at him first, or look at what he's doing wrong first, what are you doing wrong? Could you do something better? Make sure you're on the right side of things. You know, when I consult married couples, of course I always try to push people to work it out and let's try to avoid divorce as best as possible. But I always tell them, if it's going to end in divorce, make sure it ends right. On the right side of things, where both of you guys are taking a positive approach to the situation, are both putting your best foot forward, and if two grown people just feel like we're just not for each other, so be it. You know, but you can't figure that out when you're both fighting each other. Because you might just be holding on to a past issue that neither of you has healed from. And that's another thing I want to get into. We get into these relationships with our past hurts and our past disappointments, and we've never healed from them. But yet now we want to start a new relationship. And then we think it's a relationship issue we're having. No, no, no. It's a personal issue that's manifested itself by combining it into with another person. That's all it is. A lot of people, if they, you know, people will go to couples counseling, and I'm all for couples counseling. But try some individual counseling too. Because there are some demons that we all have. All of us have lived a life where we've been disappointed or hurt somewhere along the line. No one has had a perfect life, plain and simple. And we all have walls up. So that man's inability to do certain things is because there's a wall up. Your inability to receive certain things is a wall up. You know, whenever somebody tells me I'm not affectionate, I don't believe there's a such thing as someone who's not affectionate. I believe when you were born as a baby, we all cried for our mothers and fathers to hold us. How did we do that if we're not affectionate? And that same person who says I'm not affectionate, put them around a child and they become ultra affectionate. So if you're not affectionate, how are you able to do it to a child, but you can't do it to your husband or your wife? So the reality is you're not unaffectionate, you're struggling with affection in your relationship. Maybe you grew up in a household where your parents weren't affectionate. Maybe some people were abused, and that can cause some problems. Maybe that person hurt you. And again, being affectionate is also being vulnerable. Is a function of love. And again, love is a very vulnerable thing. So we have all these walls up, and we try to make excuses and say, this is who we are. No, you're better than that. We're all better than that. We're all capable of loving at great levels, but you have to address the issues within yourself first.